Hi, so we're going to talk about handling weights or weighted data with BlueSky Statistics. So with BlueSky Statistics, we give you two options. The first is to expand the data set. And when you expand the data set, what we're basically going to do is we're going to replicate every row by the weight that is associated with the row. So you get a larger data set. And the second option is for you to specify the variable that contains the weights as input to the analytical routine. So let's talk about expanding the dataset. This is very similar to IBM SPSS statistics, and the steps are as follows. You expand the dataset by specifying the variable that contains the weights. We then create a new dataset, and this is where it's a little different from IBM SPSS statistics, because we create a new dataset with those rows replicated in the original dataset by the weighting factor, or the value of the weight associated with that row. And then once you have the new data set, you can run frequencies, summaries, ANOVA, t-test, and whatever else you want to do with the expanded data set. The other option that we support is where in the analytical or the statistical capability, you specify the weighting variable, and we support that with crosstabs. So we support it with linear regression as well as with logistic regression. So with these three routines, you can work on the original data set with the weights. You don't have to expand the data set when you're doing a cross-tabulation, a linear regression, or a logistic regression. So let's switch to the application. You all should be familiar with the application, and here is a data set that I have, and this is a study of labor and income dynamics. So I have variables like weight, education, age, sex, language, and the weight associated with the row. So let me go ahead and run a frequency table on sex without the weighting applied, and you will see that when you see the results, you will see that we have much more males than females. So what I want to do is go ahead. I've got the weights associated so that I have the proportional of males and females close to the 50% mark. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and expand the data set. So I'm going to go into set weights here, and I'm going to say create the data set called SLID, and with the weights applied. Okay, so that's the data set I'm going to call here. I'm going to go ahead and specify the variable that contains the weights, and we will get a new data set with the weights applied. And then I will go ahead and run the frequencies on this new data set. So I will go into history, I will go to frequency table, and I will select sex again, and you will see that the distribution of males and females is much closer, 52%, 47%, because the weighting has been applied versus the original, where I had much more males than females. So as soon as you have the data set with the weights expanded, you can run whatever analysis you want. You can run your t-test, your one-way ANOVA, and so on. However, if you want to do a cross table, you don't have to expand the data set. And I can bring up cross tabs here. May go into contingency tables, and here's the multi-way cross tab, and here I can cross sex with language. I'm not going to specify the weights, just so that you can see the value. And again, I'm operating on the data set here that contains the weights. The weights are not applied. Here I have English, French, others, and males and females. You can see males are much more. Now I will repeat the cross tab, and again, I'm working on my original data set, and I will specify the variable that contains the weights. I will rerun the cross tab, And there you see that I have the males and females, or the numbers of males and females, if you look at the total here, are much closer as compared to the cross tab above, where I clearly have more males mousing over here than females. So in the same way, if you want to go into model fitting with linear regression, you can specify the weighting variable. So with linear regression, you don't have to run it against the expanded data set. In the same way, here's the weighting variable, and in the same way with model fitting with logistic regression, you have the ability to specify the weighting variable as well. So with that, I would like to take you back to the presentation, and thank you for your time. And if there are any questions, send them to us at support@blueskystatistics.com.